And we're live.
Hey you guys, what is up? My name is Jerica Burnett and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I'm doing a voiceover tutorial of this full glam look. It is a blown out editorial smoky eye with a little bit of glitter on the lids. It is quite dramatic and maybe something that you would wear clubbing, so if you do want to figure out how to get this look, then just keep on watching. Hey you guys, so to start off with, I'm using the Bioderma Micellar Cleansing Water, and I'm putting a little bit of that on a cotton round, and I'm just cleansing my face. This is to get rid of any dirt or excess makeup that I may have left on my skin, and as you can see here, the results are pretty gross. Then I'm taking a little more than a pea-sized amount of the Embryolisse moisturizer, and I'm putting that pretty much all over my face, but I'm especially focusing it on my dry areas, so that is on my cheeks and a little bit on my chin. Next, I'm using a tiny bit of the MAC Fast Response Eye Cream on my ring finger, and I'm spreading it underneath my eye area. So this will prime that area of the face by hydrating it and reducing the amount of creases in the concealer later. And I'm also prepping my lips with some Pawpaw ointment. Now I'm taking a clean disposable spoolie and I'm brushing all of my eyebrow hairs up. I do this so that I can see the gaps in my brows before I begin to fill it in. So I'm taking the medium brown powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills and I'm just filling in my eyebrow. So I usually start at the tail because that's where I like the pigment to be the most focused, and then I will slowly begin to fill in the front of my eyebrow as well. Guys, I'm so excited because I have finally booked in brow lamination, so I might vlog that for you if you do want to see. Just let me know in the comments below and I will take you along for the day when I get my brows laminated. Brows are such a long process. I'm now taking the Brow Wiz in the shade Ebony and I'm brushing out the brows once again, and I just realized that I literally broke the freaking spoolie. That's how unruly my eyebrow hairs are. But then I'm just taking the shade Ebony and I'm creating hair-like strokes. No matter what I do, my eyebrows always end up looking a bit blocky, so really truly haven't mastered my eyebrows yet, so maybe don't take my advice on this step. I'm now taking a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on a flat concealer brush, and I'm dragging that product both underneath and above the eyebrow to carve out the brow. So I love doing this step because I feel like it creates a really clean final product. It gets rid of any of the mistakes that you might have made while filling in the brows, and it also does conceal a little bit of the baby hairs around your eyebrow if you haven't had them waxed in a while, like me, thanks to quarantine. Now I'm using the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the shade Painterly, and I'm priming my lid. So this is one of my favorite products for canceling out any discoloration or veins on the eyelid, and I find that since it is a waxy consistency, oils cannot break through it, and that way your eyeshadow lasts a lot longer. And as you can see in the video, I'm dragging it out pretty much all the way to my hairline and up above my temple because that is how far I'm going to be smoking the eyeshadow at the end of the look. This is one of my favorite tips for creating a really dark smoky eye that will last you all night long. I'm using the Inglot Gel Eyeliner in the shade 77, and I'm putting that down as a base for the eyeshadow. So as you can see, I kind of mimic the shape of my lid. I don't want to bring it up too high, otherwise the eyeshadow look will be a bit harder to blend out. So I only bring it up just below my crease, and I kind of put it in a semicircle shape. So once we have the eyeliner down as a base and we are happy with the shape of it, it is time to move on to the eyeshadow. So I'm taking the black shade from the Soft Glam palette and I'm going to set the eyeliner in place. And the reason I'm doing that is because the next eyeshadow color will blend a lot easier onto a powder than it will onto a cream. And I'm going to take the same black shade and I'm going to wing out the shape of the eyeshadow. This is going to act as a foundation to the rest of the colors in the eyeshadow look, and it's also going to help to elongate the eye. Now I'm taking Cypress Umber from the same palette and I'm layering that on the edge of the black shadow. So I'm layering it 50% on the shadow and 50% on the lid, and this will help to create a really seamless transition and help to make that gradient effect, as you can see the difference here. Now I'm just taking the shade Burnt Orange, once again from the same palette, and I'm taking that on a large fluffy blending brush, and I'm just blending. I think the key to this look is that the more you blend, the better it's going to look. So as you can see, I'm pretty much blending it all the way up into the brow bone, and then I'm going to blend it all the way out into the hairline, and this is the color that's going to create that really blown out smoky effect that kind of gives it an editorial feel. I did cut out a little bit of the blending process to save on time, but at this point, this is what the eyeshadow should be looking like. And if you want to leave it here, you absolutely can. You do not have to add the glitter and you can keep it all matte. But for me, I wanted to add a little bit of glitz and glam, so I'm starting off by priming my lids with the Too Faced glitter glue, and then I'm going to go in with a Glitter Injections glitter in the shade Chocolate Kiss. I recently heard in a different makeup tutorial that if you use a fluffy blending brush to apply your glitter, it would create less of a dense look and more of a diffused and soft look to your glitter application. This is my first time trying it, and in all honesty, I feel like it just made more of a mess, but the application looks the exact same to me, so in the future I would probably just stick to my flat brush when applying glitter. But anyway, I'm using the shade Chocolate Kiss, and I'm applying it on the inner third of my eye. Now on to lashes, so I'm taking some dark duo glue and the most dramatic lashes that I have, which are from Cynthia Ann Cosmetics, and I'm popping them on my eye. So I always secure the middle part of the eye first, and then I secure both corners. Then I'm just running a black pencil liner in my waterline and in my tight line. I think this one's just by the brand Maybelline, but really any black liner will do. Then with a dense pencil brush, I'm going to use the same shades that I used on the lid, and I'm going to run them underneath the lower lash line. To create that really smoky, blown out appearance, I'm going to join it up with the outer corner. And this trick I like to use here is I like to use the darkest shade closest to my waterline and the lightest shade furthest from my waterline. So this is what's going to create that really diffused gradient look that you're going to see in a second. To finish off the eye look, I'm going to be highlighting the inner corner. So I'm taking a little bit of the MAC pigment in the shade Vanilla, and I'm spritzing it with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, which is going to give it that metallic finish. I'm going to pop that on the inner corner, and I'm also going to drag it on the inner 1/3 of the lower lash line. This is going to bring a little bit of brightness to such a dark and dramatic look, and it's going to help to make those eyes pop. Lastly, I'm joining up my false lashes with my natural lashes, and I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I spoke about this a little bit in my previous video, but I just want to reiterate it for you guys. If I am using any product directly on my face or on my eyes, I just want to let you know that it is not a part of my client's kit. It is a product that I use only on myself. Now I'm going to be applying a little bit of the MAC Studio Fix Foundation in the shade NC15, and I'm mixing in a little bit of the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation in the shade NC25. I'm going to mix those together on my palette, and I'm going to apply it to the face with a flat brush. It almost looks like I'm applying a face mask because it is so full coverage, but the effect that I'm going for is that I want all of my freckles and imperfections to be completely covered. So even though it looks a little crazy at first, I am going to diffuse it in a bit with a kabuki brush, which will make it look a little more skin-like, but still give me that really full coverage effect. I'm also dragging it down the neck because I want to make sure that my neck and my face all match and that it blends seamlessly into the chest. As you can see here, I never really use swiping motions. I always use patting motions, even if I'm using a brush or a sponge. I always feel like the patting motions gives me more coverage rather than swiping. I feel like that kind of takes away coverage. Now I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm drawing that in a triangle underneath my eye and also down the center of my face to highlight. I actually hate this concealer in real life. I feel like it's way too drying because I have very dry skin, but on camera I do feel like it creates a flawless effect, and it's definitely the fullest coverage concealer that I own, so I am going to use it. But if you do see that I'm creased like crazy later, this concealer is probably the reason why. My apologies for the major quality change that's going to happen in 3, 2, 1. So my G7X battery died and I had to switch to my 70D, which is why the quality probably looks way clearer. But here I'm using the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Mocha, and I'm drawing that onto my forehead to bronze. It may look like I'm beating the absolute crap out of myself to apply this. The reason is it is very drying and it dries pretty quickly, which is the reason that I work in sections. So I do my forehead first and then I do my cheeks. But yeah, if it looks like I'm being really aggressive, I promise I wasn't that harsh in real life. It just looks that way on camera. To contour my cheeks, I start at the very top of my ear and I draw it all the way down to the tip of my mouth. And I also add a little bit on my nose. I don't really contour my nose because it's crooked and it's very beak-like, which makes it hard to contour. So instead I just add a little bit to bronze it up and sort of make it feel cohesive with the rest of my face. Now I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to bake underneath my eyes. This is one of my favorite powders because it's so blurring. I feel like it really minimizes my pores and just creates a flawless finish, which is exactly what I want from my powders. I'm also going to use the same product and carve out underneath my contour. This just creates a really sharp and clean line. It does look insane before I brush it off, but that is kind of the point of it. As I say pretty much every time I sit in my makeup chair, you just have to trust the process because you're gonna look crazy before you look good. So now I'm gonna wipe that off with a small tapered brush, and I'm going in with the lightest 2 shades from the Kat Von D contour kit, and I'm going to brush that onto the temple and also onto the forehead and also underneath the cheekbone to create that bone structure that we're going for even more. Now to add a little bit of color back into my face, I'm using the shade Mocha. Pure talent. I'm using the shade Mocha by the brand MAC, and I'm applying that to the apple of my cheek, and I'm also dragging it up onto the cheekbone to match the shape of my contour. To refresh the skin, I'm giving myself a quick spritz with the Morphe setting spray, or, drowning myself in it because that works too. And I'm going to apply a little bit of MAC's Warm Soul to the cheeks, which just adds this really gorgeous natural sheen. And then I'm going to highlight using MAC's Soft and Gentle, and I'm popping that on the very highest point of my cheekbone. And this is one of my absolute favorite highlighters to use on my paler clients because I feel like it's one of the only highlights that I can use on a pale skin tone that doesn't go this weird ashy gray color. It just looks really natural and beautiful. We are moving on to the lips, and y'all, I had to mix about 4 different lip colors because I just was not finding the exact shade that I wanted. So I started off with MAC's Boldly Bare lip liner, and then I topped it off with Anastasia's liquid lipstick in the shade Crush. But as you can see in this next clip, when I looked in the mirror, I just wasn't really happy with it because I felt like it was just way too pink and it didn't really match the eye look. So I decided to go for more of a brown tone, and here I'm lining the lips with the shade Cork by MAC, and filling them in with the shade Honey Love, which is definitely more of the look that I was after. Last but not least, I'm using the Morphe Setting Mist again to just melt all of the powders together, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray to just set the makeup in place and make it last all night, as the title suggests. So here is the final look. I hope you guys loved it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, enjoy the adventure.